A common argument made by many American college students and others is that the Jews of Israel are not native or indigenous, and therefore they must return to wherever they came from or be slaughtered. It does not matter to them that Israel has been a nation, a reestablished nation for over 75 years, and that multiple generations of Jews have been born on that land. It does not matter to them that most Israelis are Jews from the Middle East and Africa, including from the land the Romans renamed from Judea to Palestine to sever the Jewish connection to the land. Many Jews were ethnically cleansed and forced to flee to Israel, the only place where they could go. These Jews and their descendants, from places like Egypt, Libya, Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Algeria, Iran, Afghanistan, and elsewhere would be persecuted, if not outright slaughtered, if they were to go and live in those places. Within what is now Israel itself, there has been a continuous Jewish presence for thousands of years. Long before Israel became a state, again, there were massacres and pogroms against Jews living in British-controlled Palestine. Even if everything they say about the Jews of Israel were true, which it is not, regarding being non-native, non-indigenous, colonizers and occupiers of land, it still does not justify murder. Murder is never legitimate or acceptable. Murder is a crime against humanity, not resistance. Non-native and not being indigenous are not ever justifications for murder. A standard applied to the Jews of Israel is applied nowhere else in the world. Billions of people live on lands that were stolen, colonized, occupied, and that are now inhabited by non-native people. All over the United States and elsewhere, non-native people live on lands that were conquered, colonized, occupied, and stolen from the original indigenous people. Arabs, Turks, and others, not only Europeans, have a long history of conquering the lands of native people, ethnic cleansing, occupation, slavery, massacres, and colonizing. Not a single one of the people condemning Israeli Jews for allegedly not being indigenous are packing up their bags to leave from the United States and elsewhere in order to return the lands to the indigenous people. Same applies for the like-minded hypocrites in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, throughout the Americas, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and elsewhere.